right. Good day, Wallballers worldwide. Jay Sanchez here for our first virtual interview with Ludawg Serrano, representing Homestead, Florida, the Stead, and South Florida. Thank you for being with us here on Wallball Worldwide. All right.
Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Hey,
It's an
man.
honor. You hit me up. I was like, man, that's an honor, man. I've seen you interview some good players and stuff. I'm glad to be on anything. I appreciate it.
Well, hey man, thanks for being with us. I'm glad you're here. For everybody out there, originally this was planned to be in person, down in Florida at the Florida versus the World event. Unfortunately, due to whatever circumstances that didn't happen, but thankfully, due to technology, we can make this happen. So thank you for being with us, Ludawg, man. It's a pleasure. Your name always pops up. So that's why I wanted to have you here on the show with us, man. But for some people, they may outside of Florida, they may not be as familiar with you. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the game, and how you got involved in the scene down there, and also tell us about some of the wins that you're most proud of.
All right. Well, it all started when I was I'm 30, by the way. So it all started when I was about 10 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. We would be in fifth grade, and we would Camel Drive Elementary. The elementary school and the middle school was divided by a big field, and they built a 3-wall court at the middle school. So we would, as fifth graders, go after school, run across the field, and we would run across the field, and we would go play with all the bigger guys and all that to play. So that's where it started. But I was always at a whatever, like trash, if you may, kind of level. Up until about 5 years ago, I started taking my game way more serious, and actually we were looking for tournaments, we were looking for events, and got on the scene. I won my first 3-wall king, and then we got onto the 1-wall scene, and just seeing different knowing that things were out there, was like watching videos and watching tournaments live and all that. It helped me step my game up even more, and that's how I got to where it's at now. Basically, that's where it's at now. It started a while.
So you started 3-wall first, and then transitioned to 1-wall, kind of going back and forth, obviously, but.
Yeah, obviously back and forth, but yeah, 3-wall is where my heart is, and 1-wall is where a different kind of game is. It's real exciting to take what I can from 3-wall and adapt. Obviously, there's no sidewalls, but the angles and the gets and the hustle is it helps out a lot, and vice versa. So yeah, 3-wall and then to 1-wall.
I always feel like people who start off with 3-wall have an advantage, because they're playing in these different dimensions that, it's easier to subtract the walls than to add walls, coming from a native 1-wall player,
I agree.
but so what were some of your early influences that kind of took you to, I know you talk about the park and everything, but aside from that, some of the early influences you had in playing 3-wall?
Early influences was, something to do. My first love was basketball, and I excelled. I did really well in that. But just like most of us, I was a knucklehead in school and didn't want to be in class and didn't want to do work. So my grades dropped, and I couldn't play for the team no more. And softball was also a love as well. And handball was always there. Handball was always there, and it was always somewhere to go, always somewhere to be. Off the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like away from all the drama and the bad stuff. You go play handball, and you take your stress out on that ball,
Definitely. I hear you on the basketball thing too, because what I used to do is play basketball while I was waiting for my next on the court. Right? I go call next, and then I go play basketball. So if anybody's familiar with Castle Hill, they're right next to each other. So it'd be like just a gate apart, right?
Yeah. So, we went there last year. Not 2020 that just passed, but 2019. Me, Willow, and Antonio, we went over there to New York, and to the Gladiators tournament in Castle Hill, and that was like such an experience, man. You guys got great food.
You know what's up, especially go up there, the, Cuchifito spot, but that's up for another talk. All right, yeah, so that's my home. I went to junior high school there, so that's my home court. I love it. So speaking of courts, what's your favorite court down there in Florida?
My favorite court. Okay, so my favorite court, that's a really good question, because besides, Homestead, where home is, I would have to say West Palm, not because they're not because they're the nicest like Hollywood is, but I've had my most notable one wall wins there.
Gotcha.
I've like, those are like my second home courts right there.
Gotcha. No, I definitely feel that. Hey, I got family in West Palm Beach. I got to come out there one of these days.
Shout out to life and stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. So getting back to we were talking about the 3-wall, 1-wall. How is it being a Florida-based player in a sport that's been predominantly dominated by New York in 1-wall and Cali in 3-wall?
A lot of, where the F is Homestead? A lot of, who's that? That's pretty sum it up, man. Like, where's that? Like, Florida plays 3-wall, and then before that it was Florida plays 1-wall. Besides the old school New Yorkers and a lot of young, moving down here to live now, it was a lot of like, who is that? Where is that at? So dealing with that, we're first of all, we're exit 1 through 5. We're 30 minutes away from the Florida Keys. We're at the bottom.
Exit 2, right? Courts are exit 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And we're when you think of where we are, you can say we are the bottom of the map. We are at the bottom of the map. We are the last thing you get before nothing, before water. The last bit of handball you get as far as south.
Hey, but you guys definitely put it on the handball map. I mean, I'm one of those people myself that I'm like, really? Florida's playing? What's going on? And then, we recognize the level of play, and that's part of the, purpose of you coming on with us, is to bring light to that. We're worldwide, so we focus on the game outside of New York City. There's more to it. You know what I mean? Yep. So that's great. I mean, down there in Florida, I've been hearing about this league, possibility of a league. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a dope ass idea. I think it's really cool to keep a record and note to what's going on, as far as who you're playing and when you played them and how much what the score was. And like the person who's running it, shout out to Jose de Jesus from the Kingdom. He made a good point. It's like, it'd be nice, even if it doesn't go anywhere, it'd be nice to look back and be like, like we played then and these are scores. Yeah. And it's a little more like organized in a sense. It's on the internet. They have a website, so it's pretty cool that way. Not just to have a Facebook or a paper and pen to tournament brackets and stuff like that. No offense to nobody. I love going to everybody's event, but the whole league thing is pretty cool. I think I think we need something like that.
Yeah, I love the idea of it. I love the concept of it, because if we want to see the game evolve into a sport, we need to start doing things like this. And what do you think that in that same, speaking of the leagues and everything, do you think that it would be great to have a national league, the Major League Handball League or something like that, where we could focus on rankings, playoffs, and things like that, so we know who the true top players are?
Yeah, I think that's great too. I think that's what it will come down to eventually. That we can keep actual rank. At the end of the season for the league, there will be a winner, an all-time winner, and it doesn't come down to one tournament. Which is never a problem either, because that that's how it is. You bring your A game. It's that one tournament for the year. You bring your A game, and if you slack, you how are you really the best if you're not dominating all the way? But it's also cool that at the end of the season, there'll be one person or 2 or 3 people with this amount of wins, this amount of points, in
Mm-hmm.
total. And you can say that they dominated all year and not just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little more
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that we're going in the direction. Enough people are starting to talk about it that it's gonna start gaining momentum. We're gonna go in that direction. And there's a lot of this talk, New York's best and Florida versus the world. And we had all these things going on, Cali and all that. We're gonna get to that point and we're gonna try to see who's the best. And my guess is not gonna be one place. It's gonna be this individual players. That's just the nature of it. But speaking again, I touched on Cali before. Hey, not to get too spicy, but can you talk a little bit about how it went down when the Cali players came out and visited you on your home courts a couple months back? How was that?
The first or the second? We're gonna go on the first time.
We can go both.
The first time, it was pretty cool that okay, but before we shout out the guys that came that time, I got to put it on the map of the dudes that actually came the first time from Cali to come and play us. And that was Brian Medina, Silent Assassin, and Steven, Bambi. They know him as Bambi around there.
Okay.
They came, just them
the
two,
originals.
the originals. They came on a freaking Sunday. They were there for a few days, and they came on a burning hot Sunday, and they were like, let's get some games. And me and Willow, it was nobody was playing. Everybody was out doing whatever. And me and Willow was like, all right, let's, we'll give y'all games. And, I played Brian Medina a few times in singles, and then we played doubles. So I think Willow did as well. And then we also played doubles with them two. And we were like, man, you guys are fucking good. Like Bambi, it was crazy. He had two good hands. You don't know if he's left or right. Powering shots from the long line to the corner. It was like, whoa. So, let's take that. But after that, when the big crowd came, when all the hype, when we had more of a name on the map and stuff, shout out to Sal, shout out to Chava, shout out to Javi Flores, and everybody else who came with them. That was it was pretty dope to have top players like themselves come out and challenge us. Like thinking, like we're still up and coming. Like. It was appreciated to get challenges are a form of recognition. That's the way I see it. When you
Absolutely.
get when a player of certain caliber challenges you, that means you've been recognized. That means he thinks it'll be a good game. That means he thinks that, he's and it's something big and publicized like that. It means something to me, So it was an honor to host them, and it was an honor to give them, what we gave them and stuff like that. It was dope. It was fun. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, hey, yeah, like you said, man, props to Sal, the Wiz, Chava, Manny, all those dudes, man, because there's some amazing players, and props to them just having the, to go out there and do that. They represent, they travel for the game, and and that's where you really test yourself. So again, man, I'm, and hey, props to whoever recorded those live feeds, whoever that was. Props to that person.
The Facebook live feeds, there were a few people.
Facebook live feeds, and the one, whoever deleted that one, I don't know. So we need that. The world needs to see that. One of them disappeared. But again, great games, great competition, some great, amazing games, man. So props to you all guys. So, hey, as we kind of like wind down here, part of this series that we've been doing the last couple of weeks is spring training, right, for Florida, right? So, we're in that type of the season, especially for the New Yorkers, who are out in the winter, in the snow right now. But what do you have any advice for some of the young players who are coming up, maybe just starting, or C players out there, on tips that they can do to train and better develop their game?
Absolutely. One thing is I'm real benevolent with my knowledge. I love giving it. Whatever I know, I want you to know, especially if it's going to help you. So what I would say is, one, this coming from a shooter, don't kill everything. Don't try to kill everything. Like it isn't, if you don't, one thing Timbo once told me is that if you don't put it down all the way, you're just setting them up. So it made me, open up to different shots, and then, bang the wall. swing your left. Don't be afraid of it. Or your offhand if you're left-handed. Don't be afraid of it. This is a two-handed game. This is not a one-handed game. This is not, basketball. And even then in basketball, we had to train with our left hand in case you got to pull a Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, and you got to shoot your left hand to finish a game. Swing your left hand, man, and bro, just stay focused, keep training, go hard. Don't let take losses as knowledge. Challenge top players. Don't be scared. Go. If you're a C player and there's open tournaments, join open tournaments. Join tournaments. Like, don't stay away at all. Get the exposure, get the experience. Yeah, I've always said experience over skill. And the moment you got a lot of experience, man, I've done it. I proved it to myself and to everybody that experience can beat skill.
That's great, man. One thing that you touched on that stood out for me is, don't always try to kill. Right.
Yeah.
I got some guys that I train that are here in Cali, and I'm focused on don't be, kill happy, because half the time you might go under and that doesn't do you anything. But that's great advice, man. Thank you for that. So one last question for you.
Got it.
If you could play on any court anywhere in the world, not Florida, but any court anywhere in the other world, where would that be?
Oh man, that's a tough question, dude.
Remember, we are worldwide now. This is a worldwide sport, right?
Okay. If I was to say, it'll be I'm gonna say two, just for the love, just to shout both of them out.
Let's go.
I'm gonna say that in Spain, that one court where they took USA over there to go play against their best and all that good stuff. And in Berlin, though, like in there, it's pretty dope. On live feed, it looks really nice. Dope. It looks dope. Over there across the waters, they actually see what we want, and as a professional sport, so they air it, they show it. They have an actual crowd, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's up to tempo with the game and knows what they're looking at, and it's a lot more organized and professional. So I would like to be on one of those two stages. That'll be
That's
awesome.
Dope. That's dope. Hey, I've been to Valencia, Spain, and we would love to have you join us on Team USA this year coming for the Euro One World Tour. It's an amazing place, man. It's one of the only places that I know of that you can play handball in an arena with stadium seating. So let's do that. Let's make a plan.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we can meet down there. All right. So, hey, man, Ludawg, thank you so much for joining us today on Wallball Worldwide, man. It's been a pleasure. All right. Thank you for representing the Stead. All right. And thank you all for watching.
Appreciate you guys.